Evening, and thank you for joining us this evening for our city council meeting. We'll go ahead and before I get going, is Pastor Abbott here? Oh, perfect, thank you. I didn't recognize you there, so super, thank you. We'll go ahead and get started. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Bates.
Here.
Cheatham.
Here.
Flores.
Here.
Mangum.
Here.
Nichols. Paulson.
Here.
Black.
Here. I would be remiss if I didn't do it right now. Councilmember Nichols is ill, and he's not able to be here with us tonight. He will be watching it at home and be in the middle of the discussions next week. But he sends his regrets, and he apologizes for not being able to be here. But he recognizes it's a very important meeting, but he is just sick, and sometimes that gets in the way of what we need to do here. So we will miss him, but I do want to make sure that everybody knows that he didn't just blow the meeting off, that it's he really truly is sick. But with that, if you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, after which, if you would remain standing for an invocation which will be offered by Pastor Nathan Abbott representing Calvary Chapel. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. And Father, we thank you for the promised blessing for the people whose God is you. And as we desire to fulfill the mission of Pocatello, that it be a vibrant community that has a quality of life that, Lord, only can be given to us by you. So we pray you give these council men and women that serve our community wisdom and guidance as we navigate through decisions here before us tonight. And may you just bless the meeting. Lord, we pray for peacefulness, understanding, and wisdom and counsel. Lord, we know that you give all counsel and wisdom, and so we look to you for that tonight. And again, we just thank you for your goodness upon us, your provision, and they continue to make Pocatello a great city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. We will move to agenda item number 3 as a consent agenda. The following business items may be approved by one motion and a vote. If any one member of the council so desires, any matter listed can be moved to a separate agenda item. A, material claims. Council may wish to approve the material claims for the period of July 16 through 31, 2025. B, investment and audit committee staff appointment. Council may wish to confirm the mayor's appointment of staff member Chantel Macy, budget manager, to serve on the city investment and audit committee. Chantel's term will begin August 8, 2025. C, Pocatello Arts Council appointment. Council may wish to confirm the mayor's appointment of Emma Fox to serve as a member of the Pocatello Arts Council, replacing Cameron Day, who resigned. Emma's term will begin August 8, 2025 and expire August 17, 2027. D, City Council decision amending the future land use map for the city of Pocatello related to Northgate Parkway. Council may wish to adopt this decision and amend the future land use map for the city of Pocatello related to Northgate Parkway, redesignating the subject property from commercial C to mixed use MU, and to rezone the subject property from commercial general CG to residential commercial professional RCP.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I move that we approve the consent agenda item number 3, items A through D as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Council President Lurick and a second by Councilmember Cheatham. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Flores.
Yes.
Cheatham.
Yes.
Bates.
Yes.
Mangum.
Yes.
Paulson.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 4, proclamations. We have no proclamations, so we'll move to agenda item 5. Council may wish to take this opportunity to inform other council members of upcoming meetings and events that should be called to their attention. On August 14, 9 a.m. City Council work session. August 21, 5:30 p.m. Council clarification meeting. 6 p.m. regular City Council meeting. August 9, Summer Sizzler Fun Run. Contact the Parks and Recreation Department for more information. August 16, annual Portneuf River cleanup from 10 a.m. to noon. Meet at the Pacific Recycling Trailhead. Bring work gloves and other tools to help clean the river of trash and debris. Contact the Science and Environment Division for more information. August 18, first date to file for candidacy begins at 8 a.m. Mayor and City Council seats 4, 5, and 6. Final day to file for candidacy is August 29 at 5 p.m. August 18 through September 1, annual maintenance for Community Recreation Center. The front desk will remain open, but all other areas will be closed for maintenance. Looking ahead, August 24, Ross Park Aquatic Center's last day of the season. August 25, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., Welcome Back Orange and Black event for ISU students at Lookout Point in historic downtown. The open burn ban in wildland urban interface areas continues. And then I would like to give Councilmember Cheatham a few minutes to explain what he's got going on his end of the dais there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What I'm doing is, I'm one of the ambassadors for a program that the state of Idaho is doing called America 2025. In July 4th of next year marks the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And the state has adopted a program to go across the state and collect citizen signatures to commemorate the event. We're going to scan all these signatures onto one large document that on July 4th will be hung in the rotunda of the Capitol from the roof all the way down to the first floor. We've been going across the state. There are 8 scrolls, and I have one here with me tonight. There are 8 of these scrolls that are going to be distributed, giving everybody a chance to sign these. And then they're going to scan them all into one giant document that'll go. With me tonight is Spudgeman Franklin, which is a character developed by Julie Ellsworth, the state's treasurer. She is a master seamstress. What you see started out as a Potato Commission Spuddy Buddy, and she handcrafted all of the costuming and characterization that's gone on these. She's created 8 of these. The ones I can remember, there's a George Washing Spud, there's a Betsy Taylor, which Betsy Ross, there's a Thomas Jefferson, a Paul Revere that sits on a really cute little horse with a tri-corner hat. There's a bunch of these that she's created. And we're going across the state, making these available for citizens to sign if they'd like. I thought after the meeting tonight, if anyone wants to sign this, I'll drag the scroll out, we'll put it on a table over here, and you're welcome to stick around and sign it if you'd like to. But it's going to be a great event commemorating something that's vitally important, was 250 years ago and still is to our country.
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is kind of neat and a fun little thing, so. All righty, then, we'll move to agenda item number 6, public hearing proposed fiscal year 2026 fee changes. This time has been set aside for council to hear comments from the public on proposed fee changes for fiscal year 2026. I declare the public hearing open. Good evening.
Evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Ann Nichols. I'm the Pocatello Chief of Staff. The hearing right now is for the proposed fiscal year 2026 fees. The fees were presented to you on May 15th during the budget development meeting with a follow-up on July 10th at the work session for 3 changes to fees. The proposed fee increases as posted are due to additional costs of programs or an attempt by departments to recover costs through fees charged versus large tax increases. User fees are paid by those choosing to use these particular services. The purpose of the hearing is to hear comments on proposals to the annual fee collections beginning on October 1st. The hearing is required because the departments and programs listed could have a 5% or more increase in fees, be requesting a new fee not previously charged, changing the name of the fee to be clearer for citizens, be moving the fees from the Pocatello Municipal Code into the annual adopted resolution, or be moving the fee from one exhibit to another, again to be clearer for citizens. The departments and programs changing fees for these reasons are the airport, alcohol licenses, business licenses, cemetery, child care licensing, commercial activities in parks and public spaces, construction trades, engineering review services, fire department, geographic information systems, library, Parks and Recreation Program, rental and admission fees for parks and recreation activities, Parks and Recreation facility use, planning and development, public records requests, sanitation, construction site sediment and erosion control, water department, and water pollution control. The final vote on fee changes is set for August 21st.
Thank you. Council, any questions for Ann? Councilmember Cheatham.
Mr. Mayor, as I did during the clearing session, I've got a couple of questions about a couple of these fees, if this would be the appropriate time.
Yeah, I think so.
There are departments available to answer your questions specifically, absolutely.
The one was the reason for the reduction of the sexually oriented business fees.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Mallory Bascom, Pocatello Police Licensing. The reason that we decided to reduce the sexually oriented business licensing fee was because upon comparing all of our licenses that require the similar backgrounds or inspections, we found that that fee that was being charged to them was higher than what we were charging similar business or other businesses that required the same backgrounds or the same types of inspections. So we reduced that fee to try to right-side it and make it equivalent to what other businesses that received a police inspection and fire inspection were seeing to match the overhead that goes into those.
Thank you. A couple of others.
Absolutely.
On page 11, under mechanical permits, I'm curious what a hydronic system is. That's a word I've never run across. I don't know if that's hydrothermal or hydroponics or exactly what that is.
Richard Bigelow, building official for the city of Pocatello. Yes, you're correct. It's for the in-floor heating hydronic system.
What is hydronic?
It's running hot water,
Geothermal?
geothermal water through the floor for radiant heat.
Do we have that in Pocatello?
We have some homes that decide to do that. It's not the most affordable thing to do, especially when a child plays with the thermostat and cranks it to 90. And it takes 5 days to cool the house down, but we do get them. So
If there's one more, under the plumbing, there was a note, and I thought, here, it's on page 12. It talks about commercial industrial permits, and it says this also applies to remodeling, alterations, replacement of a single fixture. Does that mean if a contractor replaces a sink, they have to come in and get a permit?
So normally on like-for-like permits, we don't do it, or like-for-like change-outs, they don't require a permit. But if they're gonna be remodeling a house and they're gonna be doing just like moving a kitchen sink, then that's what triggers that.
But this is commercial and industrial permits.
Yeah, so if it's a commercial project and they're wanting to do that, it would, if they're gonna move a bathroom or a kitchen, then that one fixture needs to be permitted.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Council, any other questions? Okay, thank you. And I do have one question. Has there been any written correspondence this council has not seen?
No, sir, I have not received any.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Have we received any in your office?
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. Then I would look for any testimony supporting the application. I would look for any testimony uncommitted to the application. I would look for any testimony opposed to the application.
Give me just 1 second.
Just a second.
That just died.
This died.
Thank you.
Okay, you good? Okay. Go ahead, Nikki.
I just was checking on I oppose it because of some of the,
Nikki, could you tell us your name?
Nikki Taysom, Pocatello. The reductions like for airport and alcohol and childcare for the construction trades and things. I'm asking you, like, you have fees even for a dog license, a cat license, a bicycle license. You know, we already pay taxes. It's like we pay 3 times just to get garbage to the dump. And I'm asking again, and in fact, I'm calling on you again, not to have any commercial alcohol, tobacco, vape, porn, lotteries, casinos, any of this. It creates this nightmare that we're in. I mean, there would be plenty of money, and we are taxed. And the fact that there's even any sexually oriented business allowed in town, including places like Club 91, who literally do include child trafficking in there, and some other bars. Same with the Wyndham Hotels. And so I am about, we've got to get back to what this country stands for, what we just pledged allegiance to be and do. And that's a Christian constitutional republic under our Father in heaven. And that's what our founders prayed to and obeyed, and that's what got us where we're at, to be able to have the blessings we are supposed to be enjoying but are losing. And not, I mean, it's across the nation. And we are a republic. We're not a socialist democracy or Nazi or anarchists or communists or anything else. We're in a great threat. And Benjamin Franklin laid down his life for us to have these blessings. And I appreciate her talent, but George Washington, those men, the women, laid down their all for us. And I don't appreciate them being dressed like a potato. I don't mean that to be an insult. It's sacred to me. And give the credit and name it what it is. Let's get back the honor of our founders and our
Nikki,
wives.
can you stay on the fees?
I am.
Oh, you're talking about
Here.
that right now, so the fees, please.
The fees regarding to all of these different projects and these types of businesses are what are causing us the problems we have. And again, I remember when you had the taxes skyrocket and Motel 6's taxes went down $5,000, where everybody else, someone went up 75%. We shouldn't even have those kinds of businesses. And I say it in the name of Emmanuel, his real name. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application? Seeing none, was there anything that you would like, any rebuttal you might have, Ann? Or,
No, Mayor and Council, just a reminder to everyone that we will have the final vote on fee changes on August 21st.
super. Thank you very much. Then I declare the public hearing closed. We will move to agenda item 7, public hearing proposed fiscal year 2026 foregone tax levy. This time has been set aside for council to hear comments from the public regarding the proposal to levy the foregone amount for the fiscal year 2026 to be included in the fiscal year 2026 budget in accordance with Idaho Code 63-802. I declare the public hearing open. Ann.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ann Nichols. I am the Pocatello Chief of Staff. This hearing is for the proposed use of foregone tax dollars. As the mayor mentioned, use of foregone tax dollars are allowed by cities under Idaho Code 63-802. The city of Pocatello's current foregone balance is $5,423,454. We published to use the maximum allowed amount of foregone that we could use for this year, which was $359,614. After the July 10th work session where we discussed using foregone, we realized we had not accounted for recouping the Avista electric rate judgment of $101,044. We also received the final L2 revenue numbers from Bannock County. And as a result of those, we are recommending that we reduce the amount of foregone that we are using to $19,728 versus the $359,614. We are recommending this based on, for lack of a better term, we don't want to double ask of citizens to having them pay the large foregone amount plus having to pay for the Avista electric judgment. The $19,728 is needed to balance the budget as presented to you on July 10th. A final vote for the use of the $19,728 foregone monies is set for August 21st. Any monies not levied will be added to our foregone balance and will be brought back to you for a resolution prior to December 31st.
Council, any questions for Ann?
And can you repeat the total foregone balance?
Absolutely. The city of Pocatello currently has a foregone balance of $5,423,454.
And what was the number that we originally had talked about?
We had originally talked about taking about $359,614.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay, Ann, have you had any correspondence that the council has not seen?
No, sir.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, have we had any correspondence in your office?
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. And we look for any testimony supporting the application. Any testimony uncommitted to the application?
Heather, just looking Pocatello, I just, for clarification purposes, because there was no document associated with this agenda item, I was aware from previous budget meetings that you were planning on taking 1%, but without a document, there was nothing for the public to even review, to be able to even come testify before you tonight. So my question is, in lowering the foregone to the 19,000, is the amount that you're recovering for the electrical judgment taking the place of that? Is that being added to the tax ask? And thus allowing you to then preserve more of your foregone and only use the 19,000? I'm just asking for clarification about that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any others uncommitted to the application? Any opposed to the application?
Jason Pocatello. I'm opposed to this because when we're taxed under the Fifth and Sixth Amendment, you cannot take our property without just compensation when it's used for public use. And when it's taken, especially unconstitutionally taxation, if you have extra, give it back and have the budget based on constitutional law as well. And so if you have that much money in an account that's been taken from us, that should be given back for us to be able to use. That's the point of setting a constitutional budget that we approve or not, and under constitutional means. Property taxes, income taxes, sale taxes, all those kinds of things are unconstitutionally done. Our country was founded on a poll tax, where you tax every home and every business for the actual cost and divide that equally on a census. So everybody pays their fair share, and not certain people get certain rates and things. And so that's why I oppose this, is because, like I said, we have people that can't even afford food to eat or place to live. And if you put that money back in our pocket where it should be, there would be better things happening here. People would have enough to improve their businesses and hire more people. People would be able to go to school, get a college education. They'd be able to have a home and a garden and be self-reliant. And I share that humbly in the name of Braden Lewis.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application? Okay, thank you. And a couple questions that were raised. The question from Ms. Disselkoen, the judgment and the foregone amount.
Yes, we are planning on, excuse me, reducing the amount of the ask for the foregone, and taking in its place would be this year, the Avista electric rate recouping. Okay.
Thank you. And then would you like to explain, Ms. Taysom talked about putting money back into their pockets, that the $5,423,000 actually never left their pockets. It's authority, but not.
Correct. Under the state of Idaho, we had the authority to levy for that amount of money. The city of Pocatello has chosen not to levy for that amount of money. However, we reserve the right to come back in future years and levy for it, but it is not money that is actually sitting in any bank account anywhere.
Okay. Any questions for Ann while she's up here at the end? Okay, anything else, Ann?
Nope.
Okay, thank you very much. And I declare the public hearing closed. We'll move to agenda item 8, public hearing, proposed fiscal year 2026 budget. This time has been set aside for council to hear comments from the public regarding proposed fiscal year 2026 city budget. I declare the public hearing opened. Again, Ann, how are you?
I am good tonight. Ann Nichols, Pocatello Chief of Staff. This hearing is for the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget. I need to let you know of a few changes that happened since our July 10th work session. Those are, we did receive the final L2 revenue numbers from Bannock County, and they came in a little higher than we had anticipated even on July 10th. We are recouping the Avista electrical rate judgment of $101,000 and $44 this year. With these changes and the July 10th decisions that you made, we are going to see the general fund reserve use down from $853,504 to $611,140. And as mentioned in the previous hearing, we are recommending only that you take $19,728 in foregone monies. Let me run through some numbers for you. The total city budget projected expenditures are $161,827,149. The projected revenue is $151,245,309. The planned use of overall reserves then is $10,581,840. And as outlined in the revenue and expenditure spreadsheet, this shows, excuse me, it shows that we are using planned reserves for the general fund, for water department projects, for ARPA projects, for federal aid projects, and more. The total tax ask for the city of Pocatello for the fiscal year 2026 budget is $35,865,971. This is less than what we could ask for because we are not asking you to use the entire foregone amount this year. The new L2 numbers that we did receive from Bannock County showed an increase in the new construction amount. So we have a total of $307,541. There was a new amount in the annexation for $288,410. There was, again, as I mentioned in the previous hearing, the amount for what we could have taken for foregone is $359,614, whereas we're only recommending that you use $19,728. We did also learn that the Pocatello Development Authority is not planning to close their TIF district, their tax increment financing district, but because of the annexation dollars coming in more than we had anticipated, that will cover what we had proposed for the budget. Again, as I mentioned, this budget includes recouping the Avista Electric Company judgment. By taking the electric company judgment this year, we are recommending the amount of foregone be reduced, again, for lack of a better term, to eliminate the double ask of citizens for using the large amount of foregone plus the Avista judgment. In closing, just a reminder that our tax ask is $35,865,971, which is less than we could levy per state code. The amount of general fund reserve use is decreased to $611,140 from $853,504. We're recouping the electric company judgment and decreasing the foregone amount used. The final vote on the budget is set for August 21st.
Thank you, Council. Any questions? Councilmember Cheatham?
Mr. Mayor, on the first page of this spreadsheet that we got, down on the non-departmental line 001-800, on the explanation on the right side, there's a word I don't understand, and it must be a misspelling, but I can't figure it out. It says conting, and I don't know what that is.
Oh, my apology. It should say contingency.
Okay.
We had added that in as the last, just hoping that with the annexation that we would have that, and we do.
Okay.
You couldn't get contingency out of that, huh?
No,
Apologies.
I get counting,
Okay,
but I couldn't for one of us counting.
That's right. Any other questions for Ann while she's up? Okay, thank you. Ann, I'm sorry to have you back and forth. Have you received any written correspondence the council has not seen?
No, sir.
Madam Clerk, have we received any in your office?
Nothing further.
Thank you. Then I would look for any testimony supporting the application. Any testimony uncommitted to the application? Any testimony opposed to the application?
Good evening, council. My comments are intended for the council, so no need for staff rebuttal. I am opposed to the proposed FY26 budget. It's not sustainable. I'm opposed to the use of reserves to balance the budget because it defers the deficit problem and ensures a larger deficit next year. I'm opposed to the inflated interest revenue projections. I question whether these projections are achievable when current indicators suggest revenues may decrease in FY26. I'm also opposed to that portion of the interest earned from enterprise reserve deposits as revenue for the general fund budget. It should not take a court order to stop the city from using interest revenues that rightfully belong to the enterprise funds. It should not require a statute explicitly prohibiting this when ownership is already inherent in the statutes and court precedent. In my view, previous court rulings make it clear. Idaho Code 50-1028 requires, quote, "the services of such works shall be furnished at the lowest possible cost," end quote. By redirecting enterprise revenue earned by enterprise reserve deposits for general fund purposes, not only is the city no longer providing sanitation, water, and sewer services at the lowest possible cost, but also requiring ratepayers to cover the loss of this revenue through our utility rates. And finally, I'm opposed to the $1.5 million right-of-way interfund fees being assessed as interfund transfers through our 3 utility rates. These fees are nearly identical to the City of Lewiston's street impact fees ruled unconstitutional in 2021. And as stated in the Bradbury decision, the street impact fees at issue here are akin to the maintenance fees addressed in Brewster and the pilot fees from Hillview, both lawsuits the City of Pocatello lost, and with Hillview resulting in a $4.5 million judgment. Where is your opinion from the AG justifying continued collection of these interfund fees? These budget public hearings are merely a statutory formality checked off a list. In my experience, testimony here is meaningless. I have not seen any adjustments made based on testimony in the last 6 years. By the time the budget is published, except for adjustments to the county-provided new construction, annexation numbers, and other little tweaks, the budget is a done deal, and that's unfortunate. My opposition to the budgets for the past 5 years has always been about sustainability. It saddens me greatly what lies ahead. Past decisions have compiled to the point where you are today and what you will face next year. Rather than facing it with courage this year, in my view, council is again deferring the problem for a later date. I cannot, in these 3 minutes, adequately express the degree of my frustration, anger, disappointment, and sadness. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application?
Nikki Taysom, Pocatello. I too have been coming to these meetings since 2011, and I've spent a lot of time talking to people. I am self-employed, and I help a lot of people. My family goes back to the Revolution. I value what we've been given as a nation to be able to have the open free trade and a constitution that sets the boundaries, and the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights and Protections, and Monroe Doctrine, and our preamble, our Pledge of Allegiance. I oppose this budget because several things. One, I've seen donations given to nonprofits, and it's not the government's job to be in the garbage business, the recreation business, the transit business, the public service benefits, the golf courses. I asked one time to be able to cross the Highland Golf Course one time because I took a wrong turn on my bike and I didn't want to backtrack miles. I was told I couldn't because it was private business. I said, this is city property. Well, no, we lease it. And I'm like, okay, I've been in city meetings when you have budgeted, if I remember right, over $1 million just for a water bill one time, plus paying for the landscape work, plus the parking space over down by the tee box. If they want a golf course and they're leasing it from you or renting it from you, just sell it. It's not your job to be in the golf course business. Or renting skis or anything else. You're competing with Barry Sports and other local guys who are trying to get people out doing good things. Another problem I have is the water, sewer, street overrating. And also I've seen guys, I'm just being frank here, 5 guys working filling potholes and only 1 working a shovel. You know, we're paying for all of these people. The county does the same thing. And then also when the Greenway donates property to you, then we end up paying another bill and oftentimes it doesn't even get maintained. And then there's the grant situation where you have incoming funds, and sometimes we're in the hole, like the transit, and then we're under a federal stranglehold that we lose our liberties getting those grants. If we just restored our constitutional law, most of the taxation would stay local, dealing with our own needs, not going to the top, turning our triangle upside down, and then having them take our liberties. And oftentimes, the grants don't go to the purpose they've been applied for. Like the bike trail, when we already have an existing bike trail. So where's that money really gonna go? And again, we were given a constitution as a blessing, not a guideline, it's the law and the supreme law of this land.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application? Okay, seeing none, doesn't sound like there was any rebuttal there. Ms. Disselcone didn't want to hear from staff, and I didn't really hear anything else to rebut. If you'd like to say anything, you're welcome to.
That I would remind the council again that the vote to adopt the budget is set for the August 21st meeting.
21, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. With that, I declare the public hearing closed. Okay, we will move to agenda item number 9 is a public hearing, vacation of right-of-way. This time has been set aside for council to hear comments from the public regarding a request by Ketchner Homes to vacate and the public's interest of 0.5 acres, more or less, of Suttner Lane extending from Wayfair Street through the cul-de-sac to Suttner Lane. Staff recommends approval of the application with conditions. I declare the public hearing open. Council, has there been any ex parte communication in regards to this? I might remind the council this public hearing is in regards to the vacation of right-of-way, not anything that may happen in the property after the vacation. This is for the vacation only. With that, the applicant. Okay, seeing no applicant, staff.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I'm Becky Babb. I'm the planning manager at the City of Pocatello. This public hearing is for an application which has been submitted by Karchner Homes requesting to vacate the public's interest in approximately half acre, more or less, of Saunter Lane, that portion which extends south from Wayfair Street through a cul-de-sac of Saunter Lane. All property owners within a 300-foot radius have been notified, as well as utility departments and city departments. I'd just like to review the criteria for the council. These criteria are from a city council resolution in 2016, which adopt standards according to Idaho Code sections 50-13, which relate to municipal corporations, plats, and vacations, as well as section 40 just want to make sure I'm citing the right one. 2, which relate to highway districts and right-of-ways for vacating. So the criteria as established by council and according to Idaho State Code are to describe why the requested vacation is expedient for the public good. This property owner owns a substantial portion of this area, approximately 50 lots in this subdivision, and have a viable plan to replace the cul-de-sac with a more efficient design and that will fit with the adjacent property uses. 2, to identify any damages that the city may occur as a result of the vacation. Staff has identified no damages that would occur by vacating this portion of the right-of-way. 3, to describe the requested manner of reversion of the requested vacated area, and the updated site plan has been through site plan review and is in the best interest of the adjacent owners by developing the site with multifamily houses, which matches adjacent uses of the Northgate Apartments. To explain why granting the requested vacation will not impair the rights of any lot owner or public utility. And this is due to significant infrastructure which exists. And therefore, if the property owner follows the recommendations in the Public Works memo, which are attached to your staff report, it would not impair the rights of any adjacent lot owner or public utility, and then any additional information. I think I might have skipped one, which is that it's in the best interest of adjoining property owners. I apologize. The applicant owns all of the adjacent properties to this particular cul-de-sac. So those are in your staff report, those criteria. So those are the criteria, again, adopted by council in 2016 in accordance with Idaho State Code. Those are the criteria before you, whether or not you would permit this right-of-way vacation to move forward. And the Public Works memorandum is attached, and Merrill Quayle is here and can answer any additional questions if you have questions regarding that Public Works memorandum.
Any questions? Yes.
Just a clarification, we're not, am I correct in thinking we're not giving them the land? We're simply giving up the right-of-way. They already own the property.
Yes, we're vacating that cul-de-sac, and they own all the adjacent properties as well as lots to the east and lots to the west.
But they already own the land that we're vacating. We're simply vacating the right-of-way.
I'm getting a no from Merrill. You want to?
Merrill Coyle, the Public Works Engineer for the City of Pocatello. No, this is public right-of-way that was dedicated in the Crossings Division 1 plat by the developers at that time for this cul-de-sac and stuff. So they dedicated it to the public. And what's interesting is not to the City of Pocatello, but we are the administrators of the right-of-way within our jurisdiction. It is dedicated to the public at a whole, and that's why you follow the state statutes and that for the vacation of the roadways, and that Becky has presented to you tonight there. But it is owned by the public and up to the jurisdiction to follow those vacation guidelines or rules. So that's what's happening. And in that guidelines, if you read that, there's different ways to dispose of that property. This one, the most common and the one that they do first is half of the right-of-way goes to this property owner to the right or whatever, and the other to the left. And at this case, Karshner Homes has both sides. So all of the property would revert or would be given to them to utilize as their use. There is a place for easement we've requested because there will need to be a water line loop for the pressure zones that is there, also with Idaho Power and Intermountain Gas to be able to supply their loops and that inside the system. So there would be an easement that would need to be kept in that area to be able to supply those utilities.
Thank you, Merrill.
May I summarize and make sure I understand
Sure.
what he just said? They owned the land. When they developed it, they dedicated this part to the public. Now they don't like the development, they want it back. It's off the tax rolls now, it'll go back on when they get it back?
It would go back onto the tax rolls once they did. That is correct.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that, Becky.
No,
He was
it's
back to
great.
shaking his head, and
I can't see out the back of my head, Mayor, so I'm grateful that you pointed that out.
So, any other questions for Becky? All right. Oh, Becky, I do have one question. I've got 7 or 8.
Yes, we received a number
Written-
of written public comments, which all of them have been provided to the council. I believe Councilman Polson needs some, there we go. Those comments have all been provided to you for your review. There are approximately 8 of them, all in opposition from various landowners in the neighborhoods.
Okay, super, thank you. Hearing no other questions, we are going to take a quick
Sorry.
break. You mentioned you have 3 more of those. Can I get those, and during this break, I can make a copy of those and give them to the council? So we're on a quick break right now. Thank you for joining us after the break. That actually worked out pretty good considering we had a few more comments to get to the council on this. And so thank you for doing that, I guess, and thank you for writing this down. Weird to thank somebody for that, but that worked out for us. Okay, thank you. Then we have, I think, 10, 11 of them now. Did we make another one, copy for Becky as well?
Yes.
Okay, super. All right, then, we will go ahead and, I guess that answers our correspondence question to both. Okay, then we'll look for any testimony supporting the application. Any testimony uncommitted to the application. Any testimony opposed to the application. Okay, if you'd come up here, sign your name. And then if, as a reminder to state your name, and then you'll have 3 minutes.
Okay, my name is Norma Jordan. Thank you, Mayor and City Council. So I actually own property on Saunter Lane, and so I am an adjacent property owner. I actually live there. I have children that I have, just recently, I'm a single mom. So I have worked my entire life to be able to buy property and actually buy a home. And so a couple years ago, I actually was in a position where literally for 20 years, I have worked to build myself up to be able to afford to buy a home. And then 2 years ago, bought a home as a secure place for myself and my children. And then I wanted a peaceful, quiet, single-family living with good neighbors that would be our village. And that is what we have become on Saunter Lane and the roads right there. And being an adjoining property owner that actually lives there, I am really frustrated that a builder can come in and buy a bunch of lots and then decide that they're an adjoining property owner when they're not going to be impacted by it at all. I'm going to be impacted, and my neighbors are going to be impacted by what's happening. So I do not believe that you can call a developer who stands to profit off of this as an adjoining property owner. That hardly qualifies as being in the best interest of the rest of us that actually live in the neighborhood. Secondly, it's a financial stakeholder in the project cannot speak for the rest of the homeowners. Very few of us were actually told about this project. Yes, 300 feet, but it did not include that it's going to impact the traffic that goes out of there. It's going to impact all of us. And it was us going around and saying, hey, have you heard about this? The majority of the people in the neighborhood had not even heard about it, but it will impact the traffic flow. It's going to impact the noise. It's going to impact safety features. There are so many features that it's going to impact that was not even mentioned in the plan, or we weren't even considered. So this development will directly impact my home's privacy, my peace, my property value. There's going to be increased traffic, noise, safety concerns, and the density. You cannot say that that is in my interest, and I live there. The city, I do not feel like the city did a good job on actually looking at and seeing how it was going to impact the entire neighborhood, how it was going to impact the people that are on the adjoining roads. What is in my best interest is preserving the residential character of this neighborhood, protecting my investment, and ensuring my family's quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application?
Mayor and Council, I appreciate this opportunity. A little bit short notice in our opinion. because we live in the 300 feet zone.
Sorry, we need your name.
Oh, Daniel Robinson.
Thank
Sorry.
you, Daniel. No worries.
Apologize for that. 300 feet is a very short distance in that neighborhood because in that 300 feet is a vacant lot that is actually getting a new house built on it right now. So that's the one thing I wanted to bring up, because if you read this, you would think this lot's been vacant forever. Catcher, talking to the neighbors, looking on Zillow and Realtor, has made no attempt to sell those private lots. None, since they've owned it. They took it over from the company that built the development as a neighborhood. It was intended to be a 50 and older gated facility. Some of the people on this list bought into it thinking that's what it was. That went away. It's a completely fenced, it has this narrow entrance on both ends, like it's a neighborhood. We're now cutting off a thumb. That area had houses, when we say it doesn't have an impact, Norma's right. It's gonna take, which was maybe 10 homes, and turn it into multiple apartments with more people. With the entire development, you're gonna need a streetlight at Chubbuck and Olympus. That area is always, every weekend is heavily impacted by traffic, crazily impacted. So I'm just gonna stick to these things. It's gonna affect the travel. That's the second one. They're saying no issues. That area is always heavily impacted on the weekends. The Port Enough thing's a great thing, but you get concerts, crazy amount of soccer games, crazy amount of people. Add another few hundred homes there with this project, you're gonna need a light there before you kill somebody. The adjacent property owners, she's correct. There's been no activity. There's lots in our neighborhood owned by them. They've made no attempt to sell those. There's 4 new houses in our neighborhood since we've lived there. We've lived there for a year. There's 4 new houses. People want to build houses, want to build single-family residence. One of my friends, coworkers, lives in an apartment just on the other side. He wants to buy a house. There's a single-family home challenge buying a nice home now in this town. It's not in the neighborhood. That was a subdivision. We're cutting off a thumb that was inside the fence that they've made no attempt to sell. We're the adjacent neighbors. It's not to our advantage. It's gonna hurt the price of our house. We're putting apartments right on the end of our street. We bought our house a year ago. I'm pretty sure this is gonna hurt our property value substantially. I have to say, I just don't really think we thought this out. And it is, because it is a neighborhood, and that is public road. It wasn't given to them by the previous owner. It was given to them, by this owner. It was given to the previous owner who abandoned it, and these people bought it, and now they're taking advantage of that.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application?
Don Bosworth, 1656 North Craft Road. I'm standing for my business associate, Dr. George Stevens, as well as some other financial interests that I do have in this subdivision. And I guess, to answer a few of the questions that Councilman Cheatham brought up, this ground was not given to or dedicated, this cul-de-sac that you're talking about vacating was given by the developer to the public, as Merrill said. I think Merrill and the staff have done a great job of putting everything together and making sure that criteria is here. But as a developer myself, I think when we lay a plat down, we say, here is the plan. This is kind of interesting because this particular subdivision is the first time, it's the only time I have ever heard of a bus taking tours with a certain developer who was developing the property and telling everybody, this is gonna be this and this is gonna be that, and here's our plat, here's our signatures on this plat. By vacating this cul-de-sac, they're actually gonna increase, and yes, these people will be picking up ground. So they will be gaining property, and basically that property will allow them to increase the density of the residences there by someplace between 5 and 8 times as much. And I just think it's not fair to these people who were given, maybe some of these people rode on those bus tours, and these developers gave their word that, hey, here's where it's gonna be, and we're 55 and over, or we're, you know, I just don't think it's fair. I think it's their word. The other thing is Karchners do own a significant amount of property that's there, but the property that they own is not adequate enough, according to the CC&Rs, to change those CC&Rs. They have to own 2/3 of the property in that subdivision, so there's a contractual obligation that has not been met according to those CC&Rs. And I know in the past when we've developed, we've always had to give a copy of our CC&Rs to the city of Pocatello. So there must be some level of reporting or some level of checking those CC&Rs and making sure that there's not a huge contractual obligation. There's a lot of promises, I think, that have been made to the general public, as well as all these people that financially invested in this. There's a lot of places where you can, you know, all around Pocatello right now, there are a lot of new apartments. And these apartments, they do, when you've got a new 3 or 4 story apartment complex that goes up by you, it's encroaching.
Thank you.
So, okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application?
You have my letter.
We have your letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
My name's Patty Owens. Sign my name here. And I'm going to read the letter, just for the ones that didn't, if that's okay. Our home, located on Trekker Ridge, was the first home to be developed in the crossings in 2020. When we first started looking at the lots, it was going to be a 55 and older subdivision. From what we understand, Ken Pappy and the city of Pocatello couldn't come to an agreement as to who would take care of the roads. Therefore, Ken decided not to do an HOA 55 and older. Ken told us the crossing subdivisions would be single-family dwellings, and any townhome, apartments, or businesses would be built outside of that brown fence. We specifically asked him what type of homes were being built because we were concerned about the quietness of the area, the traffic coming and going from the apartments to get to Olympus and Chubbuck roads. His response was the apartments will have their own entrance, exit, and would not be coming through Wayfair and Trekker Ridge. And I think you guys have a copy of the plat. It was with my letter. The homes that would be built in the crossings would all be single-family homes, maintain certain standards so as not to obscure the vision of the surrounding mountains and views, and maintain the values of our homes. Tyson Allen, the project manager of Karchner Commercial, sent us a copy of this new proposal. We have a very big concern with Karchner's request to vacate Saunter Lane south of Wayfair for a townhome development. Building all of these townhomes right next to Chubbuck Road is going to cause too much congestion. We observe vehicles coming from the apartments now cutting through Wayfair and Trekker Ridge to get to Olympus Drive. This new townhome development, and not just the Saunter, if you look at that plat on the other side of it, right on the corner of Chubbuck and Olympus where they meet, they're putting a huge development. It's going to add on to the Saunter is going to be part of that. So you're going to add so much congestion from Chubbuck and Olympus. Now, it's already congested. They're going to add more, and you know from anybody being up there from when school's on session, the lines trying to get up to Highland High School is unreal. Can you imagine adding all these townhomes in there? Thank you.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application?
Nikki Tayson, Pocatello, thank you. I am opposed for several reasons. One, I've seen this multiple times, and for the same validation that when a developer puts a plat before you and you approve that and they dedicate a certain amount for parks and things like the rights of way and easements and things, that is given, we the people are the public, but you're the governing body that actually controls it. And this man, or whoever these people are, will be getting this free and clear, which is illegal. he's getting a piece of half an acre that can be developed and putting tons of apartments on it. And if you look down the road at Chubbuck and Highline, those huge apartment complexes that went in there with only access right directly onto West Chubbuck Road or out through Poulter, this little subdivision side road, and then onto Whitaker, and that has a school there, and people, same thing. It's a nightmare of people trying to get just even out onto Whitaker, much less out onto Chubbuck Road, and there's not even a light there. And it does, it lowers property values because when you've accessed more people coming in, and often, I mean, I do landscape work, I used to do construction. Most of the apartment complex within several years are run down, they're not maintained, and that affects their property values, especially when they're a retirement age and want someplace nice. They want it peaceful and quiet, you know, where they can have and enjoy their last years. And especially having an investment like that, it's not cheap. And so it will increase the noise, it will increase the traffic, it will increase the unsafety for children, and then decrease their property values. And the fact that more and more apartments are coming in here because we're having all these people converge here, I mean, I'm gonna be point blank, those apartments up there by the wellness complex, and I emphasize wellness complex. The subdivision, the Highland area was a beautiful area, and those apartments are an eyesore. I just literally was like, what happened to this big promise of a wonderful development? And now it's out the window with all these promises that are millennial development dissolved, and we can't even get any justification out of them. Same with the Hearts and Roughs, they got taken for a ride. And so, you know, what do we want this town to be? What do we want the state and nation to be? And how do we want our children growing up? A lot of them don't even have a backyard to play in. They can't even barely go out their door without fear of something happening. And I've lived in apartments before, I've managed apartments before. And some of them, depending on who owns and operates them, can be a nightmare. We've got a lot of drug problems. We've
Thank
got
you
a
very
lot of-
much. Thank you. Any others opposed to the application?
My name is Susan Stevens. I live on Trucker Ridge. Let me go ahead and sign things here. I just want to thank my neighbors. I did not find out about this until 2 days ago. No idea. One of my neighbors is further than 300 feet away. She actually got a letter. And I support what my neighbors have said and all the letters that you've received. My husband put a letter together for you, but I just wanted to commend you guys. I mean, as what they have told me, they only had this letter for a week. And luckily, one of my neighbors, thank goodness, wonderful people, came and talked to me. And I'm very angry. You know, let us know. I've lived here for almost 40 years. We've paid a lot of taxes in this town. Please let people know. And yes, I am in agreement with them. There's so much other property to put these apartments, and I agree with you about the Northgate Apartments being an eyesore. And I will rest it here, and again, thank you, my dear neighbors, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application? Okay. Becky. Is the applicant, but we're not really the applicant.
She could address some questions.
Sorry to put you on, Becky, sorry to put you on the spot. This is the applicant, but I think you could answer a number of these questions. I'm Hoping you've taken a few notes there.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
So
Go
which
ahead.
question would you like me to start with?
Or go, whatever you've got there, and I'll just check them off here.
Okay, so I just checked our notice list, and any property that was within 300 feet of the adjacent area, we did mail notices to, so I'm happy to show that list to anyone that would like to see the list of who those mailings went out to. With regards to the development, that's not the application that is in front of the city council right now. The application is for the vacation of that cul-de-sac and the right-of-way. As one of the people that spoke said, the developer has provided those plans to landowners so that they are aware of the intentions of the developer, but that isn't the application. That is in front of city council at this time. The application is the vacation of the cul-de-sac. With regards to adjacent owners, the adjacent owner, in this case, adjacent meaning exactly on the property line of the cul-de-sac, Karchner Homes owns every one of those properties that are exactly on the roadway that's requested to be vacated and the cul-de-sac. As I stated, they own about 50 properties right there in that neighborhood, and so the ones adjacent to the right-of-way are all owned by Karchner Homes. The CC&Rs, the city does not enforce CC&Rs. CC&Rs are a private contractual agreement between a homeowners association and homeowners. They are filed and recorded, and subdivisions provide those as part of the plat process, but that is not something that is within the purview of city council to monitor or regulate. Those are private contractual agreements between a homeowners association and property owners within that homeowners association. So
Becky, on that, one of the questions was, is there some level of checking on those from the city?
I would defer that question to Merrill, the engineering department. They receive those. I don't believe that, I know our legal department doesn't review them. It's something that's submitted by applicants to show that they've, whether or not they've established a homeowners association, but our legal team doesn't review them. It's part of a packet that if they have them, they get submitted, but I'd let Merrill take that particular question.
Becky is correct on that. The only reason that the city gets
Sorry, who are you?
Merrill Coyle.
Thank you.
I thought we'd done that before.
I know.
Merrill Coyle, the Public Works Engineer. Becky is correct. We do not enforce them, and we do not review them. The only thing we ask is once they're recorded, that we get a copy just so that we have them in the subdivision file, and they are put on the recording numbers put on the plat so that people are made aware that there are CC&Rs there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Becky.
Yes, those were the notes that I made. If any of the council members made additional notes.
Becky, the only thing is the argument that 300 feet is a short distance. Is that an arbitrary distance that the city has, or is it?
The 300 feet requirement is in state statute, and so that's what we are. Sorry, I thought Merrill was right behind me.
He kind of is, but
Well,
not.
that happened at the last council meeting, and so now I'm a little jumpy. I apologize. That is a state statute requirement for the 300 feet that we provide notice to.
And then there was a thing that they had only received this a week ago.
We sent those notices.
I'm sorry, I'm talking to Becky. She'll get it.
I apologize. And I'm happy to provide again that, yes, July 17th.
Thank you. Yes.
Miss Becky,
Yeah, Corey, apologize, yes.
is there a specific time frame on which those have to be mailed out?
Yes, if I could grab my computer, I can read that to you. Is that?
Yeah, sure. You have a question?
Okay, I apologize. Thank you. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize. Just,
It's okay.
I just want to make sure
No
I read
worries.
it exactly out of the statute so that I don't quote it incorrectly. I believe it's 15 days. Okay, written notice, at least 10 days prior to the date of the public hearing to all property owners within 300 feet of the boundaries of the area described in the petition, and also published once a week for 2 consecutive weeks in the official newspaper of the city, which we also did, the last of which to be not less than 7 days prior to the date of said hearing. So 10 days, at least, at a minimum, beforehand.
Okay, thank you, Council President Lyric.
Knowing that this hearing is just about the vacation of right-of-way and not any future development plans, I still wanted to just confirm something from some of the testimony, but also from a lot of what I'm reading in the written testimony. There are statements about that people bought their houses with the understanding that this was only going to be a residential development. And I don't disagree with that statement, but residential doesn't equal single-family homes. And my understanding of the development, or the concept for the whole development, was that there would be a variety of different types of residences, that it wouldn't only be single-family homes. So, and also just the idea that the developer, they have a constitutional, any property owner has a constitutional right to develop their land. So they're going to do, as long as they follow all of our requirements, they're going to develop it, or they're allowed to develop it. So these are things I want to bring up, again, not directly related to the idea of the vacation of the right-of-way, but the idea of voting against this in order to then stop future development. We can't do that. So am I misunderstanding sort of the concept of the development? And
So, thank you, Council President Lurick. I think you kind of have 2 questions in
Yeah.
one, and just redirect me if I'm answering them incorrectly. So the uses for the property would remain the same regardless of whether or not this right-of-way was vacated. So if the right-of-way were vacated and the lots, the property owner had to develop around that cul-de-sac, leaving that cul-de-sac remaining in place, they could still develop townhomes. There's nothing in city code that would prevent the townhomes. Townhomes are technically a single-family dwelling. They are a more they're usually smaller, and so there's more of them, but single
more
families.
density, yeah.
The property could be developed with more than one house on each lot because this is an RCP zone. And so for the development standards, it would be residential high density. So they could put 2 houses on each lot so long as each lot met the minimum square footage. They could use any sort of development that's permitted in the RCP zone, which could include professional offices. There's nothing restricting that from the city's code, because again, the CCNRs are not something that the city can enforce. They do own all of the property, and so they could build anything within the zoning ordinance that pertains to that zone. Is that, I believe, was your first question, is that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to get at, so thank
Yes,
you.
that's correct. the vacating of the right-of-way, the criteria, as you said, are what they are. They are adopted by the city. There are some requirements relating to the public good and to adjacent property owners. Those are certainly items that the council may consider. But regardless of whether or not the road is vacated, the property owner may develop the property in any way that's permitted under the zoning code according to city ordinance, and it would be illegal for the city to prevent that.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Cheatham.
A couple of questions getting into this piece of property. Was this zoned after Karchner bought it, or was it zoned before Karchner owned it?
I don't have the date of when the Karchner purchased it. It is RCP now, and so as owners, they could develop it in any manner under that residential, commercial, professional zone.
Does this street currently exist? Is it currently curb and guttered and asphalted? Is it an existing street?
It is.
So if they're going to change this street, then they're going to have to go back and tear all that out and start over.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions, council?
Mayor,
Yes.
Mayor, did you say you could answer the question about the date?
The zoning in this area was RCP at the time of the annexation, so the city had zoned it for that time. This area was. Some of the other areas have changed zoning, but this particular one remains the same as it was when it was originally platted.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, then, yeah, Councilmember Mangum.
This is a legal question. From the idea, let's say that we don't vacate this piece of land, does that open the city up to a potential lawsuit?
Well, the item before you is whether or not to approve the vacation that's been applied for. And if the council chose not to approve that vacation, then the applicant could ask for judicial review, and the courts would have to determine whether or not the council used its best discretion in applying the criteria that Becky has gone over. So yeah, that would be the next step if they chose to do so.
And that's included with the vacation being owned by the public?
Correct.
Okay.
Because as Merrill described, by it being a public right-of-way, the city of Pocatello in this case is the jurisdiction that controls that vacation process.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other questions for Becky? Okay, thank you very much. I apologize, I'm not ignoring you, but we're through with this is a time for the council to discuss and stuff, and so the opportunity to respond back and forth with the public has passed, so. So, thank you. Then I declare the public hearing closed. Council, this item's before you. How do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would move that we approve the vacation of the right-of-way, agenda item number 9, as stated.
With conditions.
With conditions, what am I supposed to say?
With the condition, I'm asking if you want the conditions improved in the staff, included in the staff report to be a part of your motion.
Yes, with the conditions.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Motion by Councilmember Bates, a second by Councilmember Paulson. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Cheatham?
No.
Lorick?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We will move to agenda item 10, which is a public hearing annexation and zoning map designation, 12.4 acres west-northwest of Trail Creek Estates Division 2. This time has been set aside for council to hear comments from the public regarding a request by McCormick Ranch LLC, represented by Brady Smith, to annex 12.4 acres, more or less, of a parent parcel RPR 3843028016 into the City of Pocatello Corporation boundary with the proposed zoning designation of residential low density. The property is generally located west-northwest of Champaign Street, following a public hearing held July 9, 2025. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval of the request with conditions. I declare the public hearing open. An applicant, I don't see. Do we have staff?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Again, Becky Babb, Planning Manager with the city. As noted, this is a request before you to annex 12.4 acres of parcel RPR 3853028016, consisting of approximately 54 acres into the city corporate boundaries with a proposal to be zoned for residential low density. The applicant has requested annexation, so the criteria are before you in the staff report. A public hearing was held before the Planning and Zoning Commission on July 9th, at which time the Planning and Zoning Council recommended approval of this annexation and zoning application with the conditions as outlined in the Public Works Memorandum. A copy of that commission's finding is also in your packet for your review. No written comments on this application have been received by staff.
Thank you. You beat me to the question. Madam Clerk, have you had any correspondence in your office?
No correspondence, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Becky while she's up? Okay, thank you. I would ask for any testimony supporting the application. Any testimony uncommitted to the application? Any testimony opposed to the application? Okay, I've got two of you.
Vicky Tayson, Pocatello, thank you. I oppose the annexation because of the location, and also I'm about letting people have private wells and things like that. The difference between the taxation, the requirements that'll be required, that'll be placed on the property developer as well as the purchaser, and their exorbitant costs, which then, causes more of the problem we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application?
Christy Lewis. I don't live up there. I have friends that do. My concern is with this and the last one and basically every new area that we are developing, where the hell does the traffic go? I live on Monte Vista. It is absolutely ridiculous the amount of traffic that's up there. Where's all the traffic going to go on this new Trail Creek? Or on this new, Trail Creek. Right down on Foothill. There's no place else for it to go. There's no more roads in. The property owner down on this end isn't going to sell to you. Where's the traffic going to go? So if you okay this, then that just opens that up for how many more houses with no plan for in or out? Just saying. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, thank you. Any others opposed to the application? Okay. Becky or Merrill?
Merrill Quarles, the Public Works Engineer for the City of Pocatello. I chose to try to beat Becky up here on this one. So, there was a traffic impact study for this whole area by McCormick Ranch that they did at the time of when they purchased it and upon the city's request. Through there, also, it does talk about the traffic and where it needs to go as they lay out their master plan and their planning there. There's also been, with the fire and engineering, the requirement for a secondary access here, and that secondary access, as we do with the developments in this size, is phased over time, and their gravel road has been put in from this development that they're annexing all the way over to Gatey Road. that's there. It will be gated because it is currently emergency access only. However, also with that study, traffic study, the city was successful in getting a grant that will realign the intersection of North Main Extension and Gaithy Road and Craft at that time. And Foothill will continue over and come up right above the blue building currently owned by Roto-Rooter. So that will come in. There will be a signal with this grant that's in the preliminary design, concept design right now at North Main Extension and Craft Road that will be put in. We are getting prepared, almost have that concept design done. And with that information, we will be able to follow the steps on the federal process to go to a contract for design build. We hope to have that moving sometime midsummer of next year into 2027. As that happens, is our timeline and the grant timeline there. So I hope that answered your question.
Okay, any other questions for Merrill that answered that question for me? Okay, thank you very much. And I declare the public hearing closed. Council, this item is before you. How do you wish to proceed?
Mayor,
Yes.
I move to accept agenda item number 10 as outlined.
With
conditions.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion by Paulson and a second by Bates. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Paulson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Cheatham?
Yes.
Lorick?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 11, public hearing, city-initiated text amendment to Title 17 zoning regulations, sensitive land standards. This time has been set aside for council to hear comments from the public regarding an amendment to the sensitive land standards in Title 17 zoning regulations. I declare the public hearing open. Becky.
Council, good evening, Mayor. Becky Babb, Planning Manager, one more time. This item before you is a zoning ordinance text amendment regarding the applicability of the wildlife habitat protection area within the sensitive land standards under Pocatello Code 17.04.170. The proposed wording provides the option to opt out of density and clustering requirements in areas that fall within the wildlife habitat protection areas east of the Portneuf River and below an elevation of 4,700 feet. And this is along the South Fifth corridor as recommended in the South Fifth area-wide plan. The map of that is included in your packet. If a developer chooses to opt out of the requirements, they would be subject to regular development requirements of the underlying zoning district. If the developer chooses to opt in to the requirements, they would be eligible for density bonuses of at least 30% if the site is maintained as open space. On July 9th, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a hearing regarding this proposal and recommended approval of this request. Notice for this public meeting has met the local and state requirements. No written public comments have been received by the public. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, has there been any written correspondence in your office?
Correspondence.
It's unfair. They can jump the gun on that one and you can't. Okay, thank you very much. I would look for any testimony supporting the application. Any testimony uncommitted to the application? Any testimony opposed to the application?
I'll get it right this time. Okay. Obviously, I'm not probably talking about this as much as I should, but I am very disappointed.
Sorry, I know you've already...
No, I'm very disappointed in this council. They don't give you the opportunity to rebut your staff.
Okay, if you're...
It's a public back and forth. This is not. Thank you. I apologize, but...
No, that's out of line. Any others opposed to the application?
Nikki Taysom, Pocatello, thank you. I'm opposed to the application Because one, I'm a very big fan of the outdoors and animals, and it sounds like this is like another laissez-faire development thing. Of if you opt out, then, and or opt in, you get a kickback, or you don't, you can do whatever. I mean, we have certain rules. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Do we not value having wildlife? Do we not value having wide, open spaces without, when you started adding the impact fees too, to developers? That came from a 1992 UN International Earth Summit Conference. This is foreign power stuff, and it's not right. It's whoever has the money can come in and get whatever they want. Same thing with the apartment complexes going in everywhere, the annexation south of town, the 500-acre one that everybody opposed, but you did it anyway. And you have to decide what you want for this town. Suffolk does the same thing. The county does the same thing. And we're in a mess. We're in a mess. The fact that they can get a kickback if they opt, was it in? Yeah. Says it all. Let's be true to what God gave this country to us for and what we're to be, and the law that's to govern it.
Thank you. Any others opposed to the application?
Dogs are in charge.
Okay, thank you. I'm not exactly sure what Ms. Taysom was talking about, so you may have come up with an answer or question.
I believe we're just discussing the wildlife habitat protection area. This, the recommendation comes from Fish and Game to the city to adopt or not adopt, and then to operate within that. The city creates these overlay areas. It's up to City Council to modify ordinances and zoning requirements. That is within the requirement of your duties is to create zoning regulations of which whether or not sensitive land standards apply. So this is well within the purview of what you're required to do within the modification of that wildlife habitat protection area. So the balance here is trying to find protection for mule deer range, et cetera, while balancing the needs for housing development and businesses within our community. So this item will come before you at a work session, and so we don't necessarily need a vote at this time. We'd like to present additional information, but we wanted to have the public hearing and receive those comments.
Okay, thank you. We have a question, Council President.
Just want to be clear, opting in or opting out, nobody's getting kickbacks?
No one will be getting kickbacks. It's whether or not density or clustering would be required or not required, and provides options.
Thank you.
Thank you. I declare the public hearing closed. Okay, we will move to agenda item 12. Final plat application, Ridges at High Terrace Drive, Division 1. Council may wish to approve a final plat application submitted by Bill Isley, represented by Sunrise Engineering, to subdivide 81.78 acres, more or less, into approximately 40 lots for residential development. The proposed subdivision is zoned residential low density RLO and is located north of East Center Street and southeast of Vista Drive. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the request following a public hearing held on April 9, 2025.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move for approval of the final plat application of Ridges at High Terrace Division 1 as submitted in agenda item number 12.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Council President Lurick. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Yes.
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 Thank you. Agenda item 13, Airport Grant Agreement and Resolution, Idaho Transportation Department, Division of Aeronautics. Council may wish to approve a grant agreement and adopt a resolution for a grant from Idaho Transportation Department Division of Aeronautics in the amount of $450,000 for airport improvements projects. Funds will be used for construction of a new taxi lane, parking lot, pavement maintenance, purchase of a new airport rescue firefighter ARFF vehicle, and rehabilitation of a main runway, and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review. The grant does not require a local match.
Mayor,
Yes.
I move to approve a grant agreement and adopt a resolution for a grant from ITD, Division of Aeronautics, in the amount of $450,000, and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents, subject to legal department review.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Paulson and a second by Councilmember Cheatham. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Paulson?
Yes.
Cheatham?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Warwick?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 14, Airport Bid Acceptance and Construction Agreement, CR Construction LLC. Council may wish to accept the recommendations of staff and the following requests regarding this year's Airport Improvement Program, AIP, projects, and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review. A, accept the lowest responsive bid from CR Construction LLC in the amount of $143,790.85 for the pavement rehab of the airport terminal parking lots. And if accepted, B, authorize the execution of the construction agreement, notice of award, notice to proceed, and all other pertinent documents between the City of Pocatello and CR Construction in the amount of $143,790.85. The project will be funded with federal AIP and State of Idaho grant funds and budgeted airport PFC funds. The awards and agreements are subject to approval by FAA and acceptance of the grant offers.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move for approval of the airport bid and construction agreement with CR Construction Incorporated, items A and B, and authorize your signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review as outlined in agenda item 14.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Council President Lurick. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham?
Yes.
Warwick?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 15, airport lease easement, airport utility easement. Council may wish to grant a perpetual public utility easement on and through the property of the airport for construction of a taxi lane to allow for hangar development.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move for approval of the airport utility easement agreement as outlined in agenda item 15.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Councilmember Paulson. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Warwick?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 16, Airport Lease Amendment, RDM On-Site. Council may wish to approve an amendment to the lease agreement with RDM On-Site, adding co-leasee Infinite Hydraulics to the lease and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Could we discuss this one before we
Sure.
move? And I had a question during the clarification meeting about adding another company to the existing lease agreement and who that makes liable for the total lease agreement payment each month, and whether it's one or the other or both or the original, or remembering lease agreements during college years that all the roommates had to pay for, whether one moved out or not, everybody's still subject to the, so I'm curious what exactly is
You
happening
remember
here.
back to college. That's awesome.
It's a long time ago, Mr.
Was
Mayor.
this last week, I thought?
55 years ago.
Alan.
Alan Evans, airport manager. I think Jared had answered that question. I'll say what Jared said. They're both actually on the hook, as I recall from Jared's comments. So both entities would be, if you want to add to that.
Yeah, it's a legal principle called joint and several liability, meaning all the parties are entirely responsible for that lease payment. Even if one of them just disappears in the wind, the other parties are still fully liable, not half liable or a third, depending on how many parties. Each one is fully liable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move if I may.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move for approval of the airport lease agreement with RDM On-Site and authorize your signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review as outlined in agenda item 16.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Council President Lyric. Aubriana, can you please call the roll?
Cheatham?
Yes.
Lorick?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 17, state and local agreement and resolution, Main and Arthur pedestrian crossing and Flandreau Drive safety improvement projects. Council may wish to approve a state-local agreement, SLA, and adopt a resolution for the Main and Arthur pedestrian crossing and Flandreau Drive safety improvements project between the Idaho Transportation Department and the City of Pocatello, and authorize the mayor's signature on all applicable documents subject to legal department review. And authorize the total match payment of $110,852, which is the required overall match for the completion of both projects. Funding has been allocated in Fund 70 to cover the expenses.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I move that we approve the state and local agreement and resolution for the Main and Arthur pedestrian crossings and Flandreau Drive safety improvement projects as outlined in agenda item number 17, and authorize the mayor's signature on all applicable documents subject to legal department review, and also authorize the total match payment as outlined.
Second.
Thank you. I think that was Councilmember Paulson. Okay. We have a motion by Council President Lyric and a second by Councilmember Paulson. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Lorick?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Cheatham?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 18, log splitter donation acceptance, Parks and Recreation Department. Council may wish to authorize and accept a donation of a new log splitter from Bob Johnson for use at the Nordic Center and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review.
Mayor,
Yes.
I move to accept a donation for a new log splitter from Bob Johnson for use at the Nordic Center and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review.
Second.
Thank you.
I don't know if I said enough.
Thought, man, that was the easiest one I thought we had here, and we hesitated. We have a motion by Councilmember Paulson and a second by Councilmember Cheatham. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Paulson?
Yes.
Cheatham?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Lorick?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 19, donation acceptance and sponsorship agreement, Connections Credit Union. Council may wish to accept a donation from Connections Credit Union and approve a sponsorship agreement for the purpose of constructing a new clubhouse at Riverside Golf Course and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move for the donation acceptance and sponsorship agreement from Connections Credit Union on the Riverside Golf Course, and I'm very pleased to be able to say authorize your signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review, finally.
Second.
It is finally. It's great to have great partners in our community. So to Connections, thank you very much. We have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Council President Lyric. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham?
Yes.
Lorick?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Super. Thank you. Very excited. Thank you, Ann, for working so hard on that as well. That was great. A great relationship and partnership with Connections Credit Union.
We've had much talk about that and not much happened for
We
a long time.
we have had a lot of talk, and we finally are there. So it'll be neat to see that being constructed next year. Agenda item 20, resolution amending the future land use map component of the Comprehensive Plan 2040. Council may wish to approve a resolution amending the future land use map component of the Comprehensive Plan 2040 for the City of Pocatello by designating approximately 82.96 acres of land generally located north of Olympus Drive and east of Northgate Parkway from Commercial C to Mixed Use MU, and to rezone the subject property from Commercial General CG to Residential Commercial Professional RCP.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move for approval of the resolution amending the future land use map component of the Comprehensive Plan 2040 as outlined in agenda item number 20.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Councilmember Paulson. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham,
Yes.
Paulson,
Yes.
Bates,
Yes.
Lorick,
Yes.
Mango.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 20, an ordinance amending Pocatello Municipal Code, Chapter 2.30, Investment and Audit Committee to clarify membership and appointment process. Council, this item is before you. How do you wish the ordinance to be read?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I move the ordinance agenda item number 21 be read only by title and placed on final passage for publication, and that only the ordinance summary sheet be submitted for publication.
Second.
We have a motion by Cheatham and a second by Bates. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham,
Yes.
Bates,
Yes.
Lorick,
Yes.
Mango,
Yes.
Paulson.
Yes.
Thank you. Jared, could you please read the ordinance?
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance of the City of Pocatello, a municipal corporation of Idaho, amending Chapter 2.30 Investment and Audit Committee of the revised and compiled ordinances of the City of Pocatello 1983, more particularly by amending Chapter 2.30.020 Membership, Appointment, and Compensation, and Chapter 2.30.030 Organization, to provide clarity, continuity, and improve the function of the title, and providing that this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage, approval, and publication according to law.
I declare that to be the final reading of the ordinance. Shall the ordinance pass?
Bates,
Yes.
Cheatham,
Yes.
Lorick,
Yes.
Mango,
Yes.
Paulson.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 22, items from the audience. This time has been set aside to hear items from the audience not listed on the agenda. Items which appear somewhere else on the agenda will not be discussed at this time. The council is not allowed to take any official action at this meeting on matters brought forward under this agenda item. Items will either be referred to the appropriate staff or scheduled on a subsequent agenda. You must sign in at the start of the meeting in order to be recognized. As a reminder, there's a time limit of 15 minutes for this agenda item and 3 minutes per person. We've got one signed up, Nikki Taysom.
Nikki Taysom, Pocatello, thank you. I put down Zion in the Constitution and children. Once again, I'm standing here in defense of my family who are under nonstop retaliation for our stance on some of these things, including addressing children trafficking around in motels and bars and in the tunnels and other areas, including my grandchildren, including from schools and daycare, including from juvenile situations of detention and or rehabs, including out of this country and out of this state. The Constitution of the United States of America is the supreme law under the 6th article of our Constitution, and all other laws are pursuant thereof under the 4th article. And every state in this union is guaranteed a republican form of government and protection from invasion. That's also the 4th article. We're in a national security threat. There's not one child safe here. Our Constitution's out the window. We're under laissez-faire development and running of government right here. I love you all. I appreciate all true service. I hold it sacred. Literally, we were given something sacred. This is Idaho. We're not dealing with California, but we're invaded by California. We've got the problems of California and Texas and Mexico and European Union and Middle East, Asia, including the drug trade and child trafficking trade. I love everybody. I don't care where you're from or what color you are or whatever. I care what's here. And it's either right or it's wrong. And we have some huge issues here. And to sit here and have just whoever has the money can get what they want or whatever. I know there's needs for apartments or townhomes. I know there's a need for that. But look around. When I go to these meetings, and I've been coming here since 2011, that it's a mess. And I've known good contractors who've left here because of it. People are bugging out of here. And I just am thinking, we've got to get back and unite under that, our gods, and the law they gave us. Or we're gonna have their justice upon us, especially when it's involving children, especially when it's involving people who've given their all and it's being desecrated. And you'll let us be attacked, you'll let things happen, just like you did at Pearl Harbor. Is that what we want? Do we want a crash of 1929? Because it's the exact same things happening. Nobody got a chicken in every pot, did they? In the name of Emmanuel.
Thank you. No, Nikki is the only one that signed up, so council, thank you very much. Thank you for your work today. With that, we are adjourned.